Mr. Chairman, you are now live.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the October 14th Commissioners Meeting of Gig Harbor Fire and Medic 1, Pierce County 5. If you'd please stand and for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urvina,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fleming,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. Any communications?
Yes, we received a card for our new commissioner from Robin Denson, welcoming him to his position. A very nice handwritten card, which is no surprise if anybody knows Robin. So we'll get that to him, just welcoming him to the team.
Sounds like Robin. Okay. Approval of minutes from the September 23rd, 2025 Commissioners Meeting. So moved.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urvina,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fleming,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. Accounts payable and payroll approvals.
I'll move that we approve accounts payable, checks and ACH payroll transfers as outlined in the agenda. Holy cow, I'm not even going to try to do the check numbers. Grand total of $4,868,049.45.
Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urvina,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fleming,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. I had a text from President Jake. There's no report from the local. Chief's report.
All right. September 30th through October 2nd, we as chiefs went to the King County Fire Chiefs Leadership Conference at the Clearwater and had some great speakers and networked with other chiefs from around Western Washington. Yesterday, we interviewed 3 candidates for the health and safety AA position, and Chief Booth made a decision and made a verbal contingent offer to one. And so we're working through that process. Also for the deputy chief of health and safety, we know Chief Booth is retiring next June. So we've had, was it 5 or 6? 5 internal candidates. So we're scheduling those interviews with myself in November, and we'll make a decision. We're trying to get all the promotions done by the end of the year, and so that they can do station picks and vacation picks and have everything done by the end of the year. So we're trying to do that and all the downstream effects, and we're working really hard to get that done. Tomorrow, I have a South Sound 911 radio study session. I'll talk about it a little bit more on the agenda when we get to 700 megahertz. I'm speaking at that radio study session. And last but not least, October 28th through the November 2nd, I will be in Boise. I'll have to do the 28th meeting remotely, but my parents I'm going to some doctor's appointments, and they're getting older, and I'm helping them out. So I'll be gone a couple days. That's all I got for Chief's reports, unless you guys got questions for me.
Nothing from these guys? What have they been doing all week?
I know. That's what I asked.
All right, thank you. Standing committee reports. I think the only thing that's ongoing right now is negotiation committee, and it's ongoing. We'll have more at the executive session this evening. Financial report, Crystal.
Good evening. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Maybe. Okay. A little small on the TV, so I'll try to zoom in a bit. But tonight's packet on page 14 is the financial report for August. That's what's included here and shown on the screen. The only things I'll mention in terms of highlights. Let's take a look here. Revenue is pretty typical for the month of August. It's a light month for August for revenue due to the timing of when we receive property tax collections and other reimbursements. On the operating side, we're at 56%. Is it not loud enough? I can talk louder. Operating expenses were at 56% spent at the end of August. This is pretty typical from what we've seen for prior years as well. The one thing you'll note, and this will be a frequent conversation piece over the next few meetings, is capital improvements. We do have a significant capital investment here at 31%. A lot of that we are waiting just for capital assets to arrive. So as we have more assets arrive, we'll see continued spend in that area. On the bond side, we are at 36% spent. We have a couple pieces of additional invoices that will be trickling in for Station 50 on the capital side to close out that project. And then we will see some additional expenditures here with Station 51 in the next couple months. But this is pretty typical for what we've expected in the current scope of our bond projects. And then moving into ending cash, we have at the end of 8/31, it is lower than what you typically have seen at year end, which is typical for this time of year due to our revenue collections. I don't have anything specific to mention outside of the financial report for August, unless anyone has any questions.
Questions from anybody? Okay. Chairman's report, none. 2022 bond update. Okay.
Good evening. So work through the projects. Some of them are going to be grouped together, 53, 57, and 50. As Crystal said, I have meetings tomorrow to finish those closeouts. So we do have some remaining holdback money, that kind of thing, to get all of those things closed out as we want them to be done and off the books. Training campus. I think some of you looked out the window. There's a lot happening. There's a lot happening everywhere. You don't see all of it from up here. The site, just outside the window, the parking lot is going to get its first lift of asphalt, probably on Monday at this point. We were shooting for Friday, but it's looking like Monday as I talk to them. There's other asphalt going around. They're only doing a partial lift of about 2 inches, and that's really to get them out of the mud and kind of get it in so that we don't totally destroy everything with mud as we get into the wet weather. And it totally makes sense, as the final lift will be done at basically towards the end of the project when everything is clean. It's hopefully a little bit drier. And then when we're ready to do the grand opening, everything looks pretty and nice. So that's the reason for the different lifts in the asphalt. They're also pouring some concrete around the site, and we have, it doesn't sound much, but they're trench drains. And to make everything look right, a lot of work went into those, and those to get them perfectly lined up with the appropriate building at the appropriate distance is a little bit of work. So those are in and set, and then they'll be backfilling with, if you were here today, the roller has a vibrator on it, so it vibrated the entire building again, stopped them for a little bit. But today we had a constant flow of trucks bringing gravel in to bring up and fill for that asphalt and concrete. So the support building, they're working on pouring the apparatus bay apron and the sidewalk that kind of comes in. Tile in all the restrooms is complete. They just have to finish the tile in the locker rooms. Electrical rough-in is pretty much there. We've okayed, so different polishes on concrete in different area. We've approved those for the floors. The generator is in and the septic system is in. So those are a couple of large milestones for the support building. Moving on to the tower, if you drive through the back parking lot of 58, you will see that we are ever going up more and more. So the CMU walls are going up. There's some final grade work going on around the building. And then, as I said, the trench drain in front of the tower as well. And then we'll give an update on 51 here towards the end of the meeting. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Old business, reschedule the November 11th board meeting, which happens to fall on Veterans Day.
Thank you, Commissioners. We can just reschedule that one to the 18th, the next Tuesday, if that's okay with you. Then there would be another meeting the week of the 25th, which is Thanksgiving week, and we don't need that for budget. So I'll leave it up to you. My recommendation is to just move the 11th to the 18th because we do need that one, and cancel both the 11th and your choice on the 25th on Thanksgiving week.
I'd like to make a motion.
So okay. Go ahead.
Make a motion that we cancel the 11th and the 25th and only have one meeting, the 18th, for the month of November.
I'll second it. My only question would be if for some reason we need to bring the meeting on the 25th back, I'm assuming we could have that conversation on the 18th and just reset it on the 25th. Yeah. Okay.
I was going to have discussion. That's what my question was going to be. So.
Yeah. As long as that's workable and that's okay, I'm good with it.
Okay. So we got a motion and a second. Had discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fleming,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. Okay. Under new business, item 1, retiree medical program application.
Thank you, Commissioners. We got a retiree medical program application from firefighter Bruce Brown, and he's here today. Wanted to give him an opportunity to address you. First of all, we're sad that Bruce is looking at retirement. He's a great firefighter and a great person, and just such a great advocate for our department and a great asset. And we care about him a lot. And he's been here for 32 years, including his volunteer time. So he did put in for the medical retirement program, and it does fall outside of our parameters. So I wanted to go over that just and this is a program that is run by the board, and you make the decision on whether he receives it or not. So the retiree medical program, employees must meet the following criteria. They must be left. They must be employees for 15 years, 50 years of age, which he meets all those qualifications. The next line does say employees wishing to retire must notify the district by August 1st of the previous year, and they must then retire between January 1st and June 30th of the following year, or they can lose their medical benefits. So he doesn't fall outside of the parameters. We had lots of discussions about this. There is a clause that said exceptions to the time frame for notification and retirement will also be considered on a case-by-case basis, and if deemed mutually beneficial to the employee and the district, may be approved by the Board of Fire Commissioners. I always come with a recommendation, and then you guys make your decision. Since I've been here, I have brought a recommendation for two for extreme medical conditions. And I think I recommended one to deny it that fell outside of it because I didn't think that it rose to that extreme nature. We wrestled a lot with this one. First, because we care so much about Bruce, but it does fall outside of the parameters, and my recommendation is not to follow it. And again, that's a hard decision. If we're but I wanted to I hope you give Bruce a chance at the mic to tell his story, and maybe he'll convince you otherwise. We have those dates for a reason, and at least as fire chief, I've looked at it as it needs to be a pretty extreme reason. He can still retire at any time. This doesn't stop him from retirement, but if he does do this and is denied, then he just wouldn't have the medical benefit. So with that, I'll turn the decision over to you to ask me, the staff, or Bruce, any questions you like.
Bruce, you're here. I only think it's fair that this board hears from you. Absolutely.
He said it was good. Gentlemen, thank you for hearing me out. I do think it's an extreme situation. I did not file for or put my paperwork in to retire on August 1st as required because I was going through a divorce. After 36 years, my marriage is over. I did not know what my financial situation was going to be. My divorce ended up being over a lot sooner than I expected it to be. And I'm better off than I thought it was going to be. So the ask for special consideration. I've given a lot to this fire district over the last 32 years. I was a volunteer for 7 of those. And it's not quite 32. It'll be 32 in March. So, I mean, I've been on the hazmat team. I've been the hazmat team lead. Been an SCBA tech with Chief Johnson. Now I'm in charge of that program. I gave 5 years of hard work to get all the brand new SCBAs that this district has. And I was eligible to retire 5 years ago. And I didn't. I'm 58 years old now. It's getting harder and harder and harder to do this job, work the 24-hour shifts. I'll be 59 when I retire, if I can retire next year. Otherwise, I'll be 60. If I don't retire, if you don't allow me to retire next year, or don't accept my application to retire, I'll just wait another year, and I will submit on August 1st of next year. I love this job. I really don't. I struggled with the decision to retire. But at my age, it's just getting a little bit harder to do it. And I'm now looking to just start another chapter in my life. I love everybody that works here. Well, some of you. Yeah. And I also, to put it in golf terms, I also know that with Mr. Hughes withdrawing his paperwork, you guys are 1 over par on your roster, and I can bring you back down to par. So I would hope that you would consider it. I'd be willing to answer any questions you have of me.
Board members, I'll start with Bryce. If anybody has any questions at all? Tom?
Nope.
Okay. Go ahead. Thank you, Bruce. Any discussion?
Yeah, I can't imagine what it's like to get a divorce. I've been married to the same woman for 59 years. but I can only imagine after 36 years that your mind is going in so many different directions, and I'm just putting myself in that position, that a date here or a date there as far as putting in your application on time or not, I'm of the mind that if I was in Bruce's position, I wouldn't frankly be thinking soundly and logically. So from my point of view, I would hope the board accepts this application.
Bryce?
Question, just because I need to be reminded mechanically. So someone comes to you January 1st of 26 and says, I'm planning on retiring. To take advantage of this program, they would have to retire in 27, correct?
Yeah, employees wishing to retire must notify the district by August 1st. So anytime from January to August of the previous year, and then they must retire between January and June of the next year. So employees wishing to retire must notify the district by August 1st. So before August 1st, you have to tell us.
So if somebody
He can tell us right now, but then today, well, two things. He can retire today.
Sure.
And just not have this. That's two different things. And as long as it, it's kind of silent of how long you have before, right? But it says by August 1st. So he could tell us on January 1, that meets that August 1st date, but then it can't leave till the next January to June of the next year. So he missed the August 1st date.
Got it.
Beyond that.
So someone, and I should know this, so
Yeah.
my, I guess, bad for not. So if someone comes to you January 1 of 2026 and says, I'm planning on retiring, earliest date they can be enrolled in the retiree medical would be 1/1/27.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. It's always for the next year.
Got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
And then do we have, as far as the position that he was filling, if he were to vacate that position, and it sounds like there was another individual that basically turned in their intent to retire, is that still going to put us in an overtime?
Like Bruce said, it'll make us even. We did have somebody withdraw their retirement after putting it in,
Mhm.
and we hired for them.
Okay.
So we will be even. Yeah, it's just the difficulty for me is just like what, and it's for you. You make the decision. What constitutes an extreme or you take it on by case basis, and that's for you guys to decide. And it's hard because I love Bruce, right? And everything he said is correct, and everything is great. But I've also learned as fire chief, no good deed goes unpunished. That then the next one and the next one and the next one. And I hate to make decisions like that, right? I hate to be that calloused of a leader that's not taking in Bruce, because I do care about him and love him. But where do we draw the line? And again, where do you draw the line? And if somebody comes tomorrow and just says, I want to, and we can take it a case by case basis, but I've also learned no good deed goes unpunished too. So I'm glad you have to make this decision and not me.
So,
Joe?
Chief, I want to make sure I understand this right. Is it correct that if this is not approved, he intends to not retire and then stay another year and apply?
Correct. So he just said that he would stay one more year. Yes.
Okay. So we're only talking about 1 year difference in cost, correct?
Yeah. And like Bruce said, we have already hired and we are one extra, so it would make us flush. So there is a benefit to us for that, which is in the agreement also.
That's what I wanted to understand. So financially, we would benefit from accepting this application.
That is true.
Thank you.
And I'm assuming that Sorry, Bruce. It's weird, like talking about you in the room, like you're not here, but no. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I mean, I'm assuming that, I mean, you're a, apparatus operator in that position now. And I'm assuming like top step, whatever that is in terms of seniority and all that. So when somebody that's top step retires, and like you said, we've already technically backfilled the FTE because we thought that there was going to be an FTE vacant that now is not. So we would be going from a top step apparatus operator to a not top step apparatus operator as far as payroll goes.
Well, somebody else, there's always a promotion, but
Sure,
there's
sure.
seniority and stuff. So that, yeah,
Sure.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah, you're doing it right.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
And I can appreciate the chief's intent of trying to keep the program with his decisions of keeping it consistent so there's not bias perceived. I think in the way I'm seeing it, there's an opportunity where we're able to assist someone who had a challenging situation and then also help the fire district by actually getting us back into a position where we have as many employees as we were expecting to have going into this year. And in future instances, like you said, that could open the door, but also we can look at both those. It doesn't meet the chief's lens on that, but then also in other situations, it may not have that additional benefit to the department. So I don't think we're necessarily pigeonholing ourselves into future decisions either. So.
Our medical program, if I remember, we set it up to where they could retire at 53, was that it? And they'd stay on the medical program until 65 when Social Security, well, when Medicare kicks in. So you're about 59, Bruce? Okay, acceptable. So basically you'd be under for about 6 years with under the program compared to where you could have been under 12, but you kept working. Okay. Yeah, this is one of those hard decisions for things, but that's why we get paid the big bucks. Oh, I thought you'd go to the top.
Going back.
Mike, please, sir. Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't do two things. Going backwards a little bit, that's the reason this whole program was put into effect was, no offense, Bruce, but to get rid of these old guys that their likelihood of getting injured or sick, whatever, goes skyrocketing when you're the ripe old age of 59. That's the reason this whole, and we did the whole printout as far as we had to justify, okay, is this justified to pay these people this amount of money and then bring up lower paid people? We did that twice, and in my mind, this program is a great program. And again, I've already said it. I think this would be a worthy solution to this issue.
Any more discussion from anyone? Okay. It's time to.
Requires a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve his request for retirement medical.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and we have a second in regards to approving the medical retirement for Bruce Brown. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes, and thank you.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fleming,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes.
I've never been happier that you overruled me.
Chief, I will say this. I understand the position you're in and where you're coming from in regards to protocol that we set as a board there. And I appreciate the position you're in, and I know it's not an easy one. And so it's why it leaves it up to us. We'll make the decision. So thank you. Bruce, known you for a long time. A long time. And And I wish you the best with your retirement. And I want to thank you for your service to this department and that you've shown us. And just wish you the best in your health and in retirement when you pull the pin totally.
Hmm. Thank you, Bruce. No, you have to stay the whole meeting. Thanks, Bruce. Thanks for being here.
All right. 700 radio system, Chief.
Oh, good Lord. Well, I've become the tip of the spear for the 700 megahertz, and it is because Gig Harbor Fire is the largest agency that's still other than the sheriff, of course, and we've been struggling for a while. There was a subsidy given by South Sound 911 of about a million and a half that kept our 700 megahertz. So 700 is Ashford, LB, South Pierce, Ording, Gig Harbor Fire, Keepan. So it's around the mountain and over here on the two peninsulas, and the sheriff. Everybody else is on the Tacoma system, the 800 system, because they're in the I-5 corridor, and the 800 system can serve all of them: East Pierce and Central Pierce and West Pierce, and so the rest of us, as people have left the 700 and went to the 800, that leaves less users, but the same amount of costs because of the infrastructure. So they just divide the cost by the radios and charge us more. There was a subsidy going on until 2 years ago when South Sound 911 decided to stop subsidizing. I've only been here 4 years, so I can't speak to the past and the 1/10 of 1% and all that. But what I do know is when that stopped, our rates went up to $200,000 from 80 some thousand dollars. It was an increase of 145%. And that's when I came to you last year. As 700 users, we said, first it came in after budget was set. They sent us the bill late in the year. And as 700 users, we all stacked hands and said, we can't pay it, number one. Some of these small departments couldn't even afford it. And so we all just agreed to pay the same that we paid the year before. This issue has been out there for a whole nother 12 months. I've raised it at every meeting I've went to. I've talked to Robin. I've talked to Ryan Mello. I've talked to Arel, our new DEM director, Pierce County Fire Chiefs. And finally, I called a meeting a couple weeks ago of all the 700 users and said, we need to make a decision together. Let's stack hands and do it together, because if we're all standing together, we're stronger together, right? And we had a 2.5-hour meeting. We invited the DEM director to tell her story and to listen and to hear us. At the end of the day, we decided as 700 users that we don't think it's fair that our taxpayers have to pay $107 per subscriber unit, that we should pay the same as 800 users. And it's not our fault that we can't go to that system. And so we voted to only pay the same as the 800, which is $42 a subscriber unit rather than the $107 that we're being charged. Also, we decided that we're not going to sign the agreement that they sent us. Arel was there and she heard it and she understood that's going to leave her budget about $1.5 million shortfall. And we also agreed to support her in getting that money, whether it be from the county. I know the county's hurting for money, so I don't, that's what she's saying is it's difficult, and also from South Sound 911. So tomorrow is a South Sound 911 radio users meeting that I've asked to be on the agenda, and I'm going to address these topics. I CC'd you in the email that I sent to the 700 users that outlined the decisions that we made. And so that's the decisions that we made. Last year, I asked you to affirm my decision, to I also sent you, I asked Eric Quinn, our attorney, what liability we have. You know, can we just not pay bills, right? Since we haven't signed an agreement, reading between all the lawyerese, I think that our risk is very minimal. It would take them suing us. And there are also cities and fire districts that have paid zero for years. And they've never done anything to them, never collected, never asked them for more money. So it would be a little difficult for them to now come and try to get it from all of us. So that's a high level, quick overview. We can dive into the weeds or more information if you'd like. Again, I'll be at the South Sound 911 meeting tomorrow to discuss it. And but we'd like to stack hands, and I'd like first, after you ask me any questions or talk about it, I'd also like some support in a motion to move forward with paying the $42 subscriber fee for our 155 units. I'll stop there. I can talk all day on this. I've learned a lot in the last 4 years about this.
Two questions.
Yeah.
One, you mentioned the cost per radio
Yeah.
for the other system.
Yeah.
So the radio that Matt has on his belt
Yeah.
when he's in Tacoma, what's the cost per radio on that system?
42. That's why we picked the 42. We're going to
Gotcha.
we believe that we're all in the county. We all pay the 1/10 of 1%. We should all pay the same subscriber fee just because of where we live. It's not fair that we don't get the same subscriber fee that they get.
Okay, so they're asking for roughly 2.5 times what the agencies on the other system
Correct.
would pay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And we had talked, it sort of didn't pan out, but we had talked about the theoretical possibility of kind of controlling our own destiny and maybe building some
Yeah.
infrastructure to move on to that other system. Did we ever figure out how much that would have cost in total? And the reason why I bring it up is because you're talking about 100, you said 155 radios,
Yep.
60 bucks extra a radio. So that's
It was $120,000, I think.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, at some point when you start looking at year, it might actually be cheaper to build something for ourselves and change systems. Do we know what those numbers look like?
Yes and no. And so the county, we call it the 700 system, the infrastructure for the 700 system. And then the city of Tacoma and Puyallup have the 800 system. It doesn't matter. The megahertz doesn't matter. That doesn't make one better than the other. It's the towers and the coverage from those two. So we were looking at, whether we, and I might turn it over after I get over my skis here and let Perry talk, but we were looking at some infrastructure, whether we build it ourselves, whether we use there's companies out there that you can do a public-private partnership like Public Safety Towers where they'll build them for you. So you can build them yourself, but then you own them and maintenance them, but you have full control, and you could sell some partnerships there. You could do a public safety tower where you don't have a lot of that capital outlay, but then you lose a little bit of control, right? Because that company wants to make money on your property and your tower, right? So we've been looking at those two avenues. We have created some connectivity with our engines through the DeJaro that we put on the Bat Chief wagons, and then we put these things called the HPEU that can bring in through LTE rather than LMR some connectivity, and that's kind of solved a lot of our problems. It didn't solve our LMR radio problem, but it did solve some connectivity problems that we had in the engines with our MDTs. So I'm not answering your question. I might turn it over to Perry. Just the amount of work and the amount of money we couldn't at that point get there because we got so much going on. But yes.
Understood. To me, like long term,
Yeah.
I'm curious because if you own the infrastructure, then it doesn't really matter what system you're a part of.
Yeah.
And you can hang
Yeah.
sites on your own infrastructure for whatever system is willing to
Exactly.
take you, right? So on some level, having that available, I know that it's work and it's money
Yeah.
and all that, and this is all theoretical, but like having that, especially given that I remember this is probably, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years ago. We had somebody from Pierce County DEM show up at a county commissioners meeting that happened to be here, and they had coverage maps, and it showed Gig Harbor, and it showed that the coverage basically sucked for Gig Harbor. And I remember asking the guy, so you're asking us to pay a cost as a consumer for a system that your own coverage map shows doesn't cover our community. What am I getting as a customer? And it was kind of, and I happened to listen to a call last night where there wasn't radio coverage at a fire and they had to go off the system and go direct. So, I mean, at some point it's like, what are we paying for if we have a system that doesn't adequately cover our community and they're asking us to pay 2.5 times what the rest of the county pays?
Yeah, and the reason that, and the county system is bigger than the city system. They have to have more towers because they have bigger areas, so their system is bigger, which is more expensive. And the users have continued to leave to go that are on the I-5 corridor across in Tacoma. So that's driving, those two things have just driven the costs up, right? And we thought for a while the 800 system, Tacoma needed a tower over here, and we were looking at Fox Island, and out of that we thought we'd get some leverage. And Tacoma was being a really good partner, but then they ended up going back to McNeil Island and building that tower, so it didn't work out. But we're still evaluating that. Want me to stop talking and you actually, how'd I do?
No, you did a great job.
Great answer.
And I think even the chief and I have had some conversations over the course of the last 2 years that if in fact DEM was going to force us and compel us to pay that difference, that we would have a different discussion, right? Because it is a significant amount of money. But at the time we kind of halted and paused the project. We did a significant amount of radio testing and analysis, the spectrum analysis. And you're exactly right. If we were to build the towers or have somebody build the towers, you just hang different gear on it, right? And we would go approach the 800 users and say, we're putting 800 tower receivers on it. So that was an option in a discussion. Where we've stopped short is we have found these other things in the interim and we haven't been forced to pay that difference. So I think it would be a different discussion. We would probably relook and reevaluate again if in fact we had to pay that on an ongoing basis.
I would just say that over the long haul, and I know we have a lot of work to do with a lot of capital stuff, so I don't want to cause anybody to lose their mind, but over the long haul, it's good to have infrastructure, and it's good to have infrastructure that other companies want to hang their own equipment on and pay you for. So it might be worth thinking long term, because then what could happen if something, say that we're like, all right, we're out on this system. You can just go to somebody else if you have your own equipment and figure all that out, have your own infrastructure anyway, where you can hang radio sites or cell sites or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely evaluating that. And when you're talking radios, our radios are out of life now too. We're starting to, Motorola likes to do that. Like, even though the radios are just fine, they've put them out of service and won't give us parts. And so we're trying to cobble radios together. These radios are 7,000-8,000. The new ones are 12,000-14,000, each. It's a scam. That's what it is. So there's a whole bunch in radios. My very, very first meeting I went to at Southside 911, I was brand new, and they hired a consultant that came in and talked about this consultant. Like I said, it was my first meeting about bringing the two systems together, creating one system. And I came back here and I was telling them, no, I think it's going to happen. And they all laughed at me. The whole command staff laughed at me and said, oh, you new guy, they've been talking about that for 20 years and it'll never get done. And we're still talking about it. I mean, I go every South Sound meeting. They are talking about bringing the 700 and 800 system together. As fire chiefs and police chiefs, we keep asking for it. And but the governance has to get done, and they won't attack governance first. You got to do governance. And they keep, and it's millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it's frustrating for us as fire and police chiefs, the amount of time and energy that I put into this, you know, when, and, you know, I don't want to belabor the point, but where Chief Oldenburg and I came from, it was one system, dispatch, the entire radio system, the radios, the MDTs, the alerting, the MDCs in your, everything was all under one system. Here we have the most fractured system I've ever seen in my life. To sit there and have Tacoma dispatch, we got South Sound 911 dispatch, we got a county radio system, we got an 800 Tacoma Puyallup system. It's a mess here. It is a complete mess. And we as fire and police chiefs just got to deal with it. It's frustrating. So anyway, I appreciate that. If you have any questions, I'm happy to continue to talk radios and 700 and 800. But I would like your support in only paying the 42 so that I'm not out there all by myself.
Been looking at the email that received in regards to things, and I think we have really the way reading through this and all the issues and stuff with everything and the things they haven't done, like some agencies haven't paid, and you know, I think it's kind of like what you said. And I mean, it's a scam. It's a scam. I think we had nothing to protect ourselves and pay what's fair and for our taxpayers. Really reading it, I think we have to me, it'd be no discussion at all, but to support what you guys are doing. And let them get on the ball and understand what's going on here, and
I think it'll finally maybe force the issue a little bit too, right?
I agree.
The only thing that I would add is that I think this is one that historically I've abstained on because it relates to the other side of this equation is Pierce County, and that's my employer. So my plan is whatever we do on this today, that's what I'll do, and I'll be consistent with past practice.
Sure. So do you need a motion from us, or do you need?
I'd like one, yeah.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to support Chief in regards to the Pierce County radio system access fees? So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
For the reasons I expressed earlier, I'll abstain on this one.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fleming,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. All right. For what it's worth for you, Chief.
Thanks.
All right, 2026 budget timeline. Crystal.
Thank you. Okay, on page 15 of tonight's packet is the 2026 budget timeline. It is slightly different. Hold on, make it a little bigger there. It is a slightly abridged compared to prior years. We have the budget timeline being published in today's meeting on the 14th. On next meeting on the 28th, we will have our preliminary budget and the revenue hearing. And then we did approve to move the November 11th meeting to November 18th. So you'll see it says tentative because at the time of packet print, that was tentative. So we have budget approval scheduled for November 18th. And then the budget and associated resolutions is due to the King County Assessor's Office on the 25th. And one of the reasons we were looking to do that earlier is how we kept our if we are keeping our 25th commissioner meeting, that action would have been too late for the county in order to meet their council deadline for the associated levies for the next week. So the November 18th for budget adoption does meet our current deadlines that we have for King County, or I'm sorry, for Pierce County. Does anyone have any questions about the budget timeline? Thank you.
Any questions? Okay. All right. Resolution canceled warrants. Quite a load there. Crystal?
Okay, in tonight's packet on page 16 to 17, you'll see 2025-03 for the resolution. It follows all the associated warrants that action to be canceled, either lost or issued in error or not received by the vendor. So you'll see an associated list. You'll also see an associated list of ones that were issued in error and will not be reissued. Let me scroll a little bit. On the second page, you'll see another statement on a whole list of items that have $0 and those associated check numbers. I do want to speak to that really quick. Our new financial system, if the associated vendor check exceeds some certain number of lines, it generates a next page and a new check number. That's why we were having some of our prior check reports that you would have noticed with a check number and then a zero amount. So I've included those on here. There's not an official action on this particular list to take because we didn't actually print any checks with those check numbers. It was just generated by the system, but for transparency with the new system, I just wanted to highlight all the associated ones that have a zero amount for a check that was issued, check number that was generated, but a check not issued on this list. No action on that particular list. And then on the bottom of the second page of the resolution, you will see the associated items that we have reissued. Does anyone have questions on the canceled warrants?
Everybody good? Okay. Do I?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2025-03.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urvina,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fleming,
Yes.
Chairman NC.
Yes. All right. Station 51 bid award. Chief Johnson?
As I promised you earlier, looking at Station 51, bids went out towards the end of August. The bid closing date was September 30th at 2 o'clock. And by 2 o'clock, the district, had received 6 formal bids. At 2:15, those bids were opened in this room with a live broadcast out for anyone that had the ability to be in the room. Coming out of that bid opening, our low bidder was Jones and Roberts Construction of Olympia for $13,751,000. Later on that week, the district received a protest from Pease Construction. I have previously sent out some information about that. That has went through Eric Quinn to review. In our instructions in the bid packet, we did reserve our right and our ability to waive I won't get this right, informalities within the documents and the process. Eric has basically worked his way through Pease Construction's bid protest and is viewing that as an informality. And then looking at other RCWs, some of the information I sent out, and he is recommending that we award the bid tonight to Pease Construction. Or sorry, my bad, Jones and Robert. There's so many things in my head right now. Award the bid to the low bidder, which was Jones and Roberts, for the amount of $13,751,000. Questions of me through all of that?
Not a question, but I just wanted to point out that I think in our capital facilities plan, it estimated Station 51 at 21 or $22 million. So to have the bid come in at under 14, excellent work by everybody involved. So
Correct statement. And then we did, in the bid packet, there is there was an estimate from January and amortized to November of this year. That one was 18.7, so a little bit lower. The construction market right now is hungry for work. So with all of those things combined, we did receive very good numbers for the district across the board from all 6 bidders. So
Really.
I would make a motion that we approve the low bid from Jones and Roberts Company for Station 51 at $13,751,000.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fleming,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. Now, my understanding is that this now goes to P
So-
has 2 days that they could.
So I will make the notice of award. Tomorrow morning, there will be an electronic and a certified mailer going to Pease Construction citing why we did this. These were drawn up by Eric Quinn. So they have 2 days, and if nothing happens by Friday morning, if we hear nothing, we continue moving forward. There's a number of routes that they could take, but if nothing happens by 8 Friday morning, we continue moving forward.
Okay.
How's that?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now at this part of the meeting is for open public comment. If you have like to address the board, please state your name for the record. You'll have 3 minutes.
We have no one raising their hand.
Okay. Good of the order? Okay. Special upcoming events. Next week is the State Fire Commissioners Conference at Tulalip. So I think, Joe, you and I are going to be going to that.
I'll be there.
All right. Anything else?
The only suggestion I would make, and it's for staff and commissioners. One thing at a time. The night before the conference is the SNR seminar. Obviously, I'm not going this year, but it's great for anybody, be it administration, the commissioners.
And we've paid already for it. So anybody that wants, you can watch it live or
Oh, you did it.
we already did for the whole department.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you can watch it and or you can you can watch it live or we'll have it and you can log in and watch it at any time. So
I wasn't gonna cost the district.
no, we bought it. You can buy it for the district at one price so that we can all do it. So even those of us that aren't going to go can still see it.
But it's worthwhile for those that do
Yep.
watch it.
So we'll send you a link to that.
Okay, this time, next business item is executive session pursuant to RCW 42-30-1404B to discuss collective bargaining negotiations. The executive session will last 30 minutes and the meeting will be called back to order at 6:30 PM. No action or vote will be taken. We'll be holding it in this room. Oh, we're gonna go next door. Okay. This time we're in recess. I'd like to reconvene the Board of Commissioners meeting. Having no further business to come before this meeting, we are adjourned.